The purpose of this video is how to write a good introduction to a research paper that you've already collected plenty of data for. So, let's move right along and look at the elements of a clear introduction. First, it should be about 4 to 8 sentences long. Some of you will be a little bit more adept at this and you can use more sentences than 8, but really consider that to be an outer limit. Otherwise, the introduction gets too long. Start with a good hook, like always. Mention the topic then and set the context. And by context, we mean what is the topic and how does it connect to whatever we've already studied? Or if it's something totally new to the audience, how will their minds be prepped for it so that they can understand what it is you're writing about? And finally, there's the thesis statement where you really make your claim, and that should be in the last sentence or two. So with these 4 points in mind, let's look at a sample introduction to the research paper on child marriages. And here it is. Juliet, the courageous young protagonist in Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, takes courage to the point of brazenness when she rejects her arranged marriage to County Paris. If only every girl could be so strong. Sadly, some 15 million girls under the age of 18 are married off against their will every year in countries around the world. While Juliet's story ends as a well-known tragedy, the stories of these millions of girls are usually unknown and often worse. Child marriage is a global problem with deep historical roots, yet there are steps that can lead these girls out of their nightmares and prevent others from ever having to face the same fate. So what I want to look at on this slide is how well we did each of these 3 important things in the introduction, keeping in mind that it should be 4 to 8 sentences long, that we start with a good hook, that we mention the topic and set the context, and that the thesis should be the last sentence or two. And color-coded, this is how it works out. We can see that the first 2 sentences really are the hook to grab a reader's attention or to let them, to sort of prep them for what the topic is. And it looks like the second 2 sentences then mention the topic of child marriage and they set the context for it as well, tying it into Juliet's story. And then the last 2 sentences really are the thesis that talks about global marriage, or I should say child marriage being a global problem, and that there are solutions to it. When you write your own introductions, make sure you follow this same format, and you'll do a great job.